Yeah. What's going on, y'all? So, first, I want to thank everybody who looked out and was reading and listening to the audio book, The Mystical Adventures of Diggy Buns. I truly appreciate y'all. All comments and feedback is definitely appreciated. If you want the full length of the audio book, please subscribe to my OnlyFans account. And I'm going to just leave that at there. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave that right there. So, look, boom, let's get into this because I needed to touch bases with y'all. It's been a few days, I believe, since I've last uploaded something, and I just want to speak about something that came across my mind. You know what I mean? And it's just important that I speak this to y'all. So, now, a lie can sometimes be, or should I say not even sometimes, a lie can be a premature assumption. A lie can be a premature assumption. And what comes to mind when I'm thinking about this is the father of lies, right? And I'm gonna say, I know y'all be hearing me speaking and advocating on support of the devil, quote unquote, here and there. And this is my thing, right? You know how I make my analogy on Saturn, Satan, X, Y, and Z, right? So the reason why I state this and I'm stating this is because I want to give an example to clarify what I mean. So it's like the farmer, right? If the farmer plants a seed, and especially like in a specific season, right? Say plant the season here, and this is just physics, right? This is the natural law of science. This is just physics. You plant the seed in the ground, you care for it, and it sprouts. It brings you harvest, right? So, I want to pinpoint that because that's a construct of Saturn. Saturn rules over agriculture, right? So now, what happens when the farmer plants that seed and the crop does not blossom in the season that it's supposed to, the season that it usually does, right? Then what happens here is the farmer can curse Saturn, Satan, whatever you want to call it, right? Can curse it and say, God damn it, you liar, right? The father of lies, you lied to me. This is supposed to be science. This is supposed to be physics. What happened, right? And as humans can do the same thing. Humans can expect things, right? Set expectations for things and people, and get comfortable with the things, the way that things are, the way that things usually operate, right? It's like when you wake up in the morning, you know the ground is going to be under your feet when you put your 2 feet down, right? So it's just like you're used to that, you're comfortable, you expect that to be there and that to be the situation at all times. And no one really, and I'm not going to say no one, but majority rarely expects those things not to be there. So this is where disappointments derive from and everything. Not only that, but this is where accusations come from as well. Right? Because when humans say that, okay, we're not perfect, this is one prime example that humans should use to exact that. Is that, okay, we're not human because when things are set at a certain time and place of expectation and they don't, they fall through, then who's to blame, right? Why does somebody have to get blamed for that? Why are fingers being pointed when these things occur, right? Who out of all of us ponders and looks into the universe or whatever spiritual God, whatever book you look into to figure out what are the causes of this or what is the explanation for this, right? How many take our time to understand that? So I want to put emphasis on this because, there can be a lesson being told instead of calling Saturn, Satan a liar. So, of course, we can pin this to a lot of different examples. The whole farmer thing was the best example that I could come up with quickly, and it made total sense. However, if you take your time, you can pinpoint this, I'm pretty sure, to many other things. Get in the comment section if you can make another analogy of how you can make a premature assumption and declare someone to be a liar or something to be a liar. And then later on down the line, you're like, oh, this happened because this X, Y, and Z, right? So let's go back to the humanity making a plan for something to occur, right? And it doesn't happen, but either a human or a construct, a process, had a structure set up that told you this is how it's going to go. This is how it goes. We could even use the workforce, right? Especially with what's going on right now. This is kind of perfect. The workforce, your employer, you sign up for the job. They say, oh, look, we pay every 2 weeks, bi-weekly. You know what I mean? On a Friday, you come get your check. Right? So you're like, all right, boom. Equal opportunity employment. Oh, I got a record. I got a felony. Oh, doesn't matter. You're hired. Oh, great, right? So you start going to work. You get your paychecks and everything. You start expecting this thing on a constant basis. There's something called job security, right? Well, look around you right now. How much job security is in the world, right? What's in the United States? Let's keep it here right now. You know what I mean? And this is not to make fun of anybody. I really do have empathy for those who have lost their, situation or whatever the case may be when it comes to employment during these times. At the same time, there's probably a silver lining in that. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm here to explain. Saturn is also the planet of delay, right? So back to the farmer. If the farmer doesn't get the crops when he or she usually gets the crops, then that's Saturn causing delay, right? Now, people, like, if we go to the spooky books and the spooky texts and stuff like that, and they say, oh, Satan is at it again. Satan wants to devour you. Satan wants to, your soul is being tested. And this is what I want people to understand from this video and take away from this video, is that your soul is being tested. There's a test at play, right? There's a test of your soul to see, well, what would you do if the usual became unusual? What would you do if this didn't happen? How quick will you respond? How quick will you react? Not only that, but in a way that is derogatory, hurtful to others, perhaps hurtful to yourself, in anger, in a way that causes you to, again, make a premature assumption about a situation, or let's say about a person, right? Because you can't even debate whether if the crops don't come, then that's like, okay, the universe lied to us, right? You plant the seed, this season is supposed to grow, the universe lied to us, right? All right, but what happens when it comes to a person? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people tell you something, or sometimes people show you something, and they'll tell you something too, like conditions that comes along with it, and then you expect these things to happen when they're supposed to happen. They don't happen. You think that person lied to you. You know what I mean? Now, sometimes it comes as just a simple communication to update a person, right? Like, yo, I was supposed to do this. I know for you, X, Y, and Z. Something came up. I just wanted to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you give someone a date, right? But if you don't give anyone a date, it's kind of like open-ended and it's in the air. You can't expect to call that person a liar, because they just told you that something was going to get done. They didn't tell you when it was going to get done. And this is a mistake that a lot of humans make also, is giving a date and time when something is going to be done. And I there's a scripture in the Bible, I just can't pinpoint where it is or how to exactly say it right now, but it says something relative to who are you to state what date and time that something is going to occur, right? And this is coming from an astrologer, right? So there's plenty information that I have on how to manifest something in an exact date, time, you name it, right? I'm giving myself the benefit of the doubt, or, just to say, you know what, there's a potential that I'm wrong too, that I can be wrong too, right? Now, in hindsight, right, everything in hindsight is 2020. The things that have occurred and the things that have happened to you, look at your ephemeris and detect when did those things occur, right? Even if they things that you said that you was going to do right on the spot and then it didn't happen until later. Pinpoint when those things happened and look where the planets were aligned when they happened. You know what I mean? And then that can give you a hint on when to better plan something similar in the future, That can also be a testament to you didn't lie to yourself. Some people out there, they think they failed, and some people give up, right? Because they're like, oh man, I've been doing this for 3 years and it never, shit never came through. You know what I'm saying? But if a particular planet would have moved into their first house, boom, and they would have still did it, that's when the seed would have grown. They wouldn't have known though, because they ain't keep going. You know what I'm saying? Hindsight is 2020. You can predict, though. I'm not saying I can't predict. You can prescribe and describe with astrology. But, again, the emphasis on here is give things time to Give things time to grow. You know, some seeds take longer times than other seeds to sprout and grow. All right. Some seeds need more water, less water, more sunlight, less sunlight. You know, I'm just naming factors, but you can make an analogy and understand what I'm talking about, whether it's further communication, updating something or someone, on what it is that's supposed to grow, right? That can be like watering the project, watering the seed, you know, showing it to others. That could be putting sunlight on the seed, you know. Now, the longer that you fail to do these things, then you can expect a slower growth, you know, and you may have good reason for not showing and revealing certain things, right? So again, I'm an advocate for Saturn, Satan right now. And when it comes to that, especially when you transition, right, you can't expect things to move fast when it comes to fruition. However, that should not stop or stifle your Mars. And this is a good time to talk about this as well, because Saturn is at 7 degrees right now and Mars is at 25. So you do the math, right? That means that your Mars is going to have more authority than the Saturn right now. So the teacher of the lesson, which is Saturn, is pretty much going to watch your Mars go to work right now, right? Take action. What are you? Because Mars got the authority right now, you know? Things can turn. So when Mars gets into first degree Scorpio, then it's going to be a different type of dynamic going on. You know what I mean? So I'm just preparing y'all at the same time so y'all can come back and piggyback on this lesson. You know what I'm saying? If you're interested in hearing about it more, I guess you can get in the comment section about that too. I'll try to make a note of that so we can come back to it. All right, I'm out.